Hello YouTube, this is J Coder back with another stream, and today we're going to be going over using cards in our UI. It will make our UI look better and cleaner and more attractive to the user. So yesterday we were working on this program that displays a list of affirmations to the application and to the screen, and so right now it's just showing the text, and so now we have to show them inside cards. And so this lesson is going to be all about how to polish the UI. And if you like this kind of thing and like to level up in Android development, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and give a comment. And without further ado, let us get started. And so I like to go over these code labs that are directly from the developer.android site so that you guys can get the information right from the very source. And so I'm going to go ahead and post this code lab in the chat so that people can be able to follow along as well. And I'm going to go ahead and mute this music, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so display a list of images using cards. Before you begin, in the previous code lab, you created a affirmation app that displays a list of text and the recycle view. So basically it looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and get mine ready as well, the affirmations. So right now when I hit the play button, it's going to come up with what we were working on yesterday. And if you missed what we worked on yesterday, you can always check the last previous live stream video to be able to get all caught up with what we built so far. And plus the source code is on the previous code lab. I also you should be able to see it in the video there too. Alright, so this is the actual app that we have so far. We use the recycle view to display a list of affirmations. And also recycler views are very important in Android development, so I encourage you guys to learn more about those if you haven't already. Alright, so in this follow-up lab, you add an inspiring image in each affirmation of your app. You will display the text and image for each confirmation with a card using Material Card View widget from the Material Components for Android library. Then you will finish the app by polishing the UI to create a more cohesive and beautiful user experience. This is a screenshot of the completed app. Prerequisites: can add images resources to an app, comfortable modifying the XML layout, able to create an app that displays a list of text in a recycle view, able to create an adapter for a recycle view. And what you'll learn: how to add images to the list of displayed affirmations in a recycle view, how to use material card view and a recycle view item layout, how to make visual changes in the UI to make the app look more polished. A polished affirmations app that uses recycler view is to display a list of cards. Each card contains an image and affirmation text. Well, you need a computer with Android Studio version 4.1 or higher installed, access to an internet connection to override image files. The affirmations app from the previous Create the Affirmations app code lab. No starter code is provided. Creating the app is a prerequisite. So again, you guys can check out my previous video if you need help with creating that previous code that we built. Adding images to the list items. So far, you have created an adapter item adapter to display inform affirmation strings in a recycler view. Functionally, this works great, but usually it is not very appealing. In this task, you will modify the list item layout and adapter code to display images with the affirmations. Download the images. To start, open up the affirmation app project in Android Studio from the previous code lab. If you don't have this project, go through the steps in the previous code lab to create that project, then return here. Next, download the image files onto your computer. There should be 10 images, one for each affirmation in your app. The file should be named from image1.jpg, image10.jpg. So we need to download these images. So I'm gonna actually, let me see if I can copy the link here, that so that I can also post it to the chat as well so other people can access it. I'm going to copy the link address, and then I'm going to go ahead and post this in the chat as well. And this is actually going to be the required, the link above is the required images for this lab. All right, perfect. All right, so go ahead and download it, and then copy the images from your computer into your project resources drawable app source main resource drawable. So inside our drawables folder. So let me go ahead and do that really quick. Actually, let me see here. Let me go ahead and bring up my Android. Then let me go ahead and go to the downloads, and then images, and then let me go ahead and place these inside the Android Studio. Inside the resources, and then drawable. Okay. Says move specified files. Okay, refractor. All right. So image 1, image 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 right here. Copy the images from your computer into your project's resources drawable folder within the Android Studio. Once these from your code using their resources IDs such as r.drawable.image1, you will have to rebuild your code for Android Studio to find the image. Now the images are ready to use in the app. Add support for images in the affirmation class. In this step, you'll add a property in the affirmation data class to hold a value for an image resource ID. That way, a single affirmation object instance will contain a resource ID for the text of the affirmation and a resource ID for the image of the affirmation. 1. Open the affirmation.kt file within the model package. Modify the constructor of the affirmation class by adding another int parameter named image resource ID. Using the resource annotations, both string resource ID and image resource ID are integer values, although this looks okay. The caller could accidentally pass in an argument in the wrong order. Image resource ID first instead of string resource ID. To avoid this, you can use resource annotations. Annotations are useful because they add additional info to classes, methods, or parameters. Annotations are always declared with an @ symbol. In this case, add the @string resource annotation to your string resource ID property and drawable res annotation to your drawable resource ID property. Then you will get a warning if you supply the wrong type of resource ID. Number 1, add the string resource annotation to string resource ID. 2, add the drawable resource annotation to image resource ID. Make sure the imports androidx.annotation.drawableRes and this Android X annotation.stringres are added at the top of the file after the package declaration. Affirmations.kt. So inside the affirmations.kt, they want inside the let's see. So let's go to our affirmation. Okay, so we already have this guy, the string resource ID. And so what they want us to do is they want us to add this annotation here. And so the annotation looks like it identifies it as a string resource, which is going to be in our string.xml file. String res and then these images are going to be in our drawable it's inside the resources drawable package. So inside the data classes, there are basically in data classes you usually don't have like a body. You pass the variables inside the constructor, which each variable represents the piece of data, which is usually the way things are done with data classes. So remember, these are not curly brackets, but actual parentheses. So remember, we're not putting these variables inside curly brackets. We're putting these variables inside the parentheses inside a data class. All right, and it says initialize list of affirmations with images. Now that you've changed the constructor of the affirmation class, you need to update the data source class. Pass in an image resource ID to each affirmation object that is initialized, open datasource.kt. You should see an error for each instantiation of affirmation. For each affirmation, add the resource ID of an image as an argument, such as r.drawable.image1 datasource.kt. Okay, so datasource.kt, we need to add these affirmations here, and well, I mean, we need to add these images to these data sources here, because before we only had the string, but now the affirmation data class contains an image now, or accepts in an image now. So let us go back to our Android Studio and then go to our data source. And then we do have all of these right here, our affirmations. However, we do need to modify these to accept in the image, which the affirmation is our data class. And so, we need to pass in inside the data class the two things we needed here. So we passed in the affirmation followed by the actual image, which is r.drawable, which, these are in our drawable package over here. And these affirmations are in our strings.xml here. Add an image view to the list item layout. To show an image for each affirmation in your list, you need to add an image view to your item layout, because you now have two views, a text view and an image view. You need to place them as children views within a view group to arrange the views in a vertical column. You can use linear layout. Linear layout aligns all child views in a single direction, vertically or horizontally. So open res layout list item.xml and add linear layout around the existing text view. So we're changing that layout to linear layout. So in order to do that, we need to go to our Android Studio, and then we need to go to our list item, and then we need to create a linear layout. So we go here above our text. And so we're going to go ahead and make that a linear layout. Close it off with the linear layout as well. Okay, so it says set the orientation property to vertical. So the orientation will be vertical. So orientation equals vertical. Move the XMLNS schema declaration line from text view element to linear layout element to get rid of the error. So instead of declaring this deal here, we need to take this away and actually just have it there, which we already have there. Wait, actually, what? Oh, yeah, we already have there. Inside the linear layout, before the text view, add an image view with a resource ID of item underscore image. Set the image view width to match parent and height to 194 dp, depending on screen size. This value should show a few cards on screen at any time. Set the scale type to center crop. Set the important for accessibility attribute to no, since the image is used for decorative purposes. So we're going to go ahead and take this image view and we're going to set it um, inside the linear layout. Inside the linear layout before the text view, add the image view. So it's going to be before the actual text view. And here's our image view. And it's going to be center crop for our scale type. And great. Set the important for accessibility to no. So important for accessibility is no. Update the item adapter to set the image. Open the adapter image adapter.kt and reference to the text view and reference to the image view in the list item layout. Make the following change. Below the initialization of text the text view property, add a file called image view. Use find view by ID to find the reference to the image view with ID item underscore image and assign it to the image view property item adapter.kt. So we're going to go to our view holder Kotlin code here. And so our view holder Kotlin code is actually going to be here inside our item adapter. And then we have our item view holder. Our item view holder is here. And then keep that the same. They wanted us to add the image. So inside the view holder, we're going to actually add the image here. Set the image. And that will be inside our view holder. Inside our Android Studio. And inside our next line, we'll do the image view, which is a type of image view. And then we're going to set that image view to the item image. Okay. Find the onBind view holder function in the item adapter. Previously, item's image resource ID onto the image view of the list item view. So now it wants us to add our image code holder.imageview.set image source resource I'm sorry, to inside the onbind view holder. So we're going to go to the onbind view holder. So on bind. And then after we set the text, we're going to set the image there. And then it says run the app and scroll through the list of affirmations. The app looks much prettier with images, yet you can still improve the app UI. In the next section, you will make small adjustments to the app to improve the UI. All right, let's go to back to our Android Studio. And then let's go ahead and play this and see what it does. It should be displaying the text and the image now based on the modifications that we have done to the code. So, all right. So it displays our image. It says I am strong. Image, I believe in myself. Image, each day is a new opportunity to grow and be a better version of myself. And then image, every challenge in my life is an opportunity to learn from. That's great. That's great. So this is what we have for so far for our app. And then what else do they say to go on? So says so far you've built a functional app that consists of a list of affirmation strings and images. In this section, you'll see how small changes in the code and XML can make the app look polished. Add padding. To start with, add some white space between the items in the list. Tip: you can make layout changes in the XML as shown here, so you can make them in the attributes panel. The attributes panel in design view, whichever you prefer. Open item list.xml and then add 16 dp padding to the existing linear layout. So we're going to add an additional 16 dp to the padding, and this is going to be put inside our Android Studio, inside our list of items, and then said inside the layout after vertical, the linear layout, we're going to put the padding is going to be 16 dp. So that's going to give everything in here is not going to be allowed to go past the a certain point where essentially it will have 16 dp of padding. Add 16 dp padding to the item title text view. So also In the text view, we will add the padding. So we're gonna go here, and then inside the text view, we're actually gonna go ahead and add also 16 dp, so that it will have the same amount of dp as our image view. Here. Something I did. Okay, 16 dp. Okay. All right. So in the text view, set the text appearance attribute to text appearance headline 6. Text appearance is an attribute that allows you to define text specific styling. For other possible predefined text appearance values, you can see the text appearances section in this blog post. I'll actually go ahead and post this blog post in the chat as well, so that anyone following along can see. And so let me go ahead and post this in the chat. I gotta click on the guy first. Alright, so we clicked on that guy, the blog. And let's go back. And the link is on. So the above link is indeed on Android styling common theme attributes. Oops. I'm pasting that in the chat. All right, great. Now, let us go back. And I encourage you guys to read this on your own time to be able to see different stylings for your text. And then, so we have this here. Okay, so they wanted us to add this guy also do the end there to change the text to like probably a bolder kind of text, which is there. So let us go back inside our Android Studio and add that to the text view inside our code here. So I'm going to go here and let's go ahead and add this to our text view. Then it says run the app. Do you think the list looks better? All right, let's go ahead and run the app and see if the list looks better. All right, so I'm going to go to here. Go to stop. I'm going to run. Okay, so alrighty. So yeah, it does look better. Alright, so now it is still hard to tell if an image belongs to the affirmation text below or the above or below that image. To fix this, you can use a card view. A card view provides an easy way to contain a group of views while providing a consistent style for the container. For more material design guidance on using cards, check out the guide on cards. Oh, okay. So this will probably be an interesting resource to help you to design the apps to look a bit better, utilizing cards, because cards is a very widespread and popular UI element these days for on all platforms really. And so I'm gonna go ahead and post this one in the chat, and it's gonna be, more about cards. Let me see. I'm gonna post that chat more on cards. All right, great. Gonna go ahead and close those. Okay, it is still hard to tell. So yeah, add a material card view around the existing linear layout. Once again, move the schema declaration from linear layout into material card view. Set the layout width of the material card view to match parent and the linear layout height to wrap content. Add equal layout underscore margin of 8 dp. Remove the padding in the linear layout so you don't have too much white space. Now run the app again. Can you tell each affirmation apart better with material card view? List item dot xml. So now we're going to go ahead and wrap the complete linear layout inside our material card view. So we're going to go back to our Android Studio, and inside our linear layout, we're going to go here. Then we're going to wrap our card view inside our linear layout. And it's going to be this. And then we're going to close that off here. Okay. And then says so when we go ahead and run the app, let's see what happens. Let us run the app. Okay, great. So, as you can see, when we added the material card, you can see each item is grouped inside a border here. And so that's the code that we needed in order to have this visual effect here. So it looks more cleaner and neat when we are able to put our text and image in a card like that. Says change the app theme colors. The default app theme color may not be as calming as some other choices you could make. In this task, you will change the app theme color to blue. You can then change it again using your own ideas. You can find predefined shades of the blue from the material design color palette from this link. In this collab, you will be using the following colors from the material design palette, the blue of what they're calling blue 200, blue 500, blue 700. Add color add color resources. Define colors used within your app in a centralized place. The colors.xml file. Open colors.xml and add new color resources to the file for the blue colors defined below. So these will be added here to the blue or to the colors.xml and their blue colors. So we're going to go ahead and add this here. We have black and white already in there. And so it's these three shades of blue that we just added inside our colors.xml. And it says change the theme colors. Now that you have new color resources, you can use them in your theme. So open the theme.xml, resources, values, themes, themes.xml, find the primary brand color section, and add or change color primary to this blue, and add a change color primary variant to use blue 700. So they want us to go to our themes.xml. Inside our Android Studio. Then we go to actually the theme is under themes, themes.xml, and then let's see. Inside our themes, we don't really have much here, but says find the primary brand color. Let's see. All right. Add or change to use this. Okay, so let me see here. And then inside our, let me see. Set our themes. That's our night theme. So action bar. And so does this go inside this? Yeah, this goes inside styles. So make sure it's in the style brackets. And let's see if this changes our primary color to our desired effect. And then run the app. You should see the app bar color is changed to blue. So we go here. We actually run our app. And then we can observe that our app bar is indeed blue now. Okay. So after that, it says in the settings of your device, turn on the dark theme. Your app switches to dark theme. Verify that it looks like the screenshot below. So inside, let's see. So let me go ahead and go to this device. This is the emulator, by the way. Go to settings. Go to display. And then go to dark theme is on. And now we have our dark theme is on. And then we go ahead and play it. And alright, so our dark theme is this. Oh yeah, so in order for us to change the bar inside our dark theme as well, we will need that's pretty nice that the text color was automatically inverted to that color, which is convenient. So we gotta also put this inside our night theme so that it can also be our blue color. Okay, great. Yeah, looks very nice. Very nice. Alright, so now we will go back to the lesson. And your app switches to the dark theme. Verify that it looks like the screenshot below. App bar color. You may be wondering why your specified primary color for the dark theme is not showing in the app bar. The dark app bar is by design in dark theme. The app bar and other large areas are by default shown with a dark background color surface instead of the primary color. This is because Material Dark Theme recommends less use of bright colors on large surfaces. Buttons or other small accents will show the defined primary color. At this point, you can also remove unused colors in your colors.xml file. For example, the purple color resources used in the default app theme. Change the app icon. As a final step, you'll update the icon, download the icon files, and so, okay. So, let me see. Oh, okay. If it opens like that, go to File, Save Page As to set it to your computer. So, File, Save Page As to save it to my computer. And also this guy, do the same thing. So, File, Save Page As, and save it to my computer. And then within the Android Studio, delete these two files, drawable, IC launcher, background.xml, and that foreground.xml file, since those are for the previous app icon. You can uncheck the box safe delete with usage search, then click on the resource drawable file, new image assets, and then choose the appropriate ones. Okay, so inside our Android Studio, we will go to inside our drawable IC launcher background.xml, delete. Did it say to uncheck the safe search? You can uncheck the box safe delete with usage search. Uncheck that box. Okay, and then I hit OK. And then I can delete the other one as well. And then inside our actual downloads, we have these XML files. This one has the whole URL as the name. This is the foreground. Well, I mean, we'll still go ahead and actually it gives us instruction to right click on the drawable, and then let's see, actually says new image asset. So new image asset, and then you can choose it for the foreground or the background. So let's go to our Android Studio, and then right click on the drawable, and then go to new, and then go to image asset. And for the foreground layer, we're going to actually select the one that we just downloaded for the foreground, which is this one. Okay. And then switch to the background layer tab, and we're going to do the same thing. So we switch to the background layer tab, which let's go back to our Android Studio. Let's go to our background layer, and then open that for that, and then after that we think we can pretty much go ahead and click the next and then finished. Anything else they wanted us to do, said click next. In the confirm icon path, click finish. So okay, so that's what we can actually go ahead and do is go back to our Android Studio, then click next, and then finish. Okay. And then for best practices, you can move the new vector drawables IC Launcher foreground.xml and IC Launcher foreground background.xml into a new resource directory called drawable any DPI v26 adaptive icons. For best practices, you can move the new vector drawables into a new resource directory called that adaptive icons were introduced in API 26. These resources will only be used on devices running API 26 and above. Delete the drawable -v24 directory if there's nothing left there. So it says you can move it into a new directory called that inside the drawable. Let's see. Let's go back. Alright. Wonder we can do project, and then we can go to the app. Then we can go to the source, or actually, let's see. Go to the source. Then we can go to the main. Then we can go to the resources. And then we have these folders here because I selected project as the mode that we can see these here. And we have these two inside the drawable. So it says we can move this into the thing called, into the folder called V20 drawable NADPI V26. And it's a resource directory. Wonder if I can go ahead and say new, new, resource, Android resource directory. Name of the directory is this. Then, then let's hit OK with that. And then inside our drawables, let's see if we can actually move this guy, these guys over here like they were saying. And refractor. And then, okay. Delete the drawable 24 directly if there's nothing left there. So if there's nothing left there, then we actually delete it. Delete. Okay. All right. And then run your app and notice the beautiful new app icon in the drawer. Let's go ahead and run our app and see if that works. All right. So let us go to the Android Studio. Then let's go ahead and rerun our actual emulator. And then let's, okay, great. The image is represented there. And let's see if it appeared on our app list. Boom, affirmations here with this flower thing right there. So, all right, that was successful. All right, so run your app and you should see the icon, which we did see the icon. As the last step, don't forget to reformat the Kotlin XML files in the project so your code is cleaner and follows style guidelines. Congratulations, you created an inspiring affirmations app. Using this knowledge of how to display a list of data in an Android app, what can you build next? Okay, so what they were talking about with the cleaning up the code is we go we can go to our Kotlin code, which let me switch this to Android. And then these are our Kotlin code under here, Java, this. And then here, we can highlight the file there, and then we can go to code, and then we can say reformat code, and that will put the correct spacing for your Kotlin code. So let's also do that same process for this one. So code, reformat code, and then finally, well, actually for this one, going to, yeah, you make sure to select all of it, and I do Command A to select all. On Windows, it may be Control A, but after you select all the code, you go to the code menu and then reformat code. And then also lastly for this one, I'm going to do the same process. Code, reformat code. All right, so that one was already good to go. All right, so great. So the solution code for the affirmation app is in GitHub repository below. So I'm gonna go ahead and post this solution code. If you guys did not build this and uh, weren't able to, you know, get this working, you can go ahead and download the source code here. And I'm going to go ahead and get this in the chat. Link to source code. All right. And in order to download and access the code, I leave that to you all as an exercise to be able to link your project to GitHub. And so, in summary, to display additional content in a recycler view, modify the underlying data model class and data source, then update the list, item layout, and adapter to set that data into the views. Use use resource annotations to help ensure the right type of resource ID is passed into a class constructor. Use material components for Android library to have your app more easily follow the recommended material design guidelines. Use material card view to display content in the material card. Small visual tweaks to your app in terms of color and spacing can make the app look more polished and consistent. And I always encourage you guys to study these links uh, whenever you can, which is these are some things you can look into to learn more, which is create a list with recycler view class, recycler view adapters, recycler view holder, list in material design, cards in material design, material card view, getting started with material components for Android, Android styling, themes versus styles, adaptive icons. All right. And finally, it has this challenge task for you, and I encourage you all to do this as an exercise on your time. And so yeah, that's actually going to be what the stream is going to be today. And I thank you all for tuning in. And as always, stay coding and remember to subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and like this video. All right. Thank you guys.